In recent years, some who may have had absolute faith in the criminal legal system have conceded that it is flawed. This would include prosecutors and judges who now look at cases with a skeptical eye. As a result, there's been an increase in exonerations for those who've been wrongfully convicted and incarcerated. Each week, we bring you these stories in an effort to put names and faces to the stats. Tonight, we turn our attention to the case out of Oregon. The Oregon Court of Appeals has thrown out Jesse Johnson's murder conviction. Johnson, who is black, has been on death row for the last 20 years. In 2004, a jury found him guilty of killing a 28-year-old mother of 5 inside of her apartment, despite there being no physical evidence, including DNA evidence, linking him to the murder. The appeals court made the decision to overturn Johnson's conviction based on the fact that jurors never heard key eyewitness testimony. But even with his conviction overturned, Johnson remains in prison with the charges against him still pending. Joining me now to dig deeper into the facts of this case is Johnson's attorney, Ryan O'Connor. Thanks for coming on the show, Ryan.
Thanks for having me.
So here's the obvious question most people would ask. Why is Jesse Johnson still in prison if his conviction was thrown out?
Well, because the ball is in the court of the prosecutors in Oregon now. The Oregon Attorney General has about a month to decide whether to ask the Oregon Supreme Court to review this opinion. And then even after that, the prosecutor in Salem, Oregon, where Mr. Johnson was convicted, can decide to retry him.
Have you had a chance to talk to Jesse since last week's ruling?
I have, yeah. I've been able to speak with him twice. It's difficult to communicate with clients during the pandemic, unfortunately. The prisons here are not allowing in-person visits, so it's only been by phone. But I spoke with him the day of the ruling and spoke with him again last Friday. He was happy. You know, he told me it's been a long time coming, way too long, but that he's been telling his friends that his case is going to be on the news someday and that he's innocent, and he was happy that that came true and that a court finally saw the injustice in his case.
You know, Jesse has spent more than 2 decades on death row, and he's maintained his innocence from the very beginning. He even turned down a plea deal where he would serve 15 years if he pled guilty rather than face the death penalty. Walk us briefly through the facts of his case, would you please?
Sure. Yeah, like you mentioned, he was charged with the killing of a woman in Salem, Oregon in 1998, a black woman. She was stabbed to death in her apartment in a bloody, violent scene with lots of biological evidence. And, you know, the police focused on him very quickly in the case. This image you're showing now shows the victim's house with an X on it in Salem, Oregon. And they focused on him, and that resulted in an investigation that was tainted by racism and police misconduct and confirmation bias that just excluded any evidence that would have led in another direction. And so the jury didn't hear that there's a lot of biological evidence at the scene, for example, that if it had been tested and shown to them would not have been Mr. Johnson's DNA. That testing has occurred since his conviction and has been exculpatory. The jury didn't hear, like you mentioned, that an eyewitness who lived across the street from the victim's home saw a white man who went into the victim's house at the time of the murder, heard a loud, violent sounding struggle, and then saw the white man flee the scene. And only later saw a black man, who she didn't even identify as Mr. Johnson, about 50 minutes later walk by. And so, you know, the absence of that evidence really meant that the jury was presented with a circumstantial case based on police informants who have serious credibility problems. And, you know, they unfortunately convicted Mr. Johnson and then returned a death verdict.
So what was the connection between the victim and your client? Why even suspect your client from the very beginning?
You know, they were acquaintances. At this time, they were both involved in the Salem, Oregon drug scene. They both had addiction problems. And Mr. Johnson had been to her apartment in the days before her murder, or possibly the morning. She was murdered, late at night, early in the morning, so possibly earlier that day. And so, there was this connection. And then a few days after the murder, the police learned that he was allegedly in possession of some jewelry that had belonged to the victim. So that connection caused the police really to focus on him early in the investigation.
Now, to this day, the state is still refusing to have some of the DNA evidence tested. Why?
That's a very good question. Their position in court has been that this case is closed. They've obtained a conviction, they obtained a death sentence, and there's no reason to reopen and re-examine the case. I've been partnering on this case with the Oregon Innocence Project, who represent Mr. Johnson in that request for additional DNA testing. And they've been involved in the case because that DNA testing really could conclusively establish whether Mr. Johnson's innocent. I believe strongly that he is. But unfortunately, the prosecutors here have just been unwilling to re-examine the case and test the DNA.
This is something that we hear time and time again, where prosecutors are more concerned with finality over fairness. Jesse is from a small, predominantly white town in rural Oregon. What role do you think race played in his conviction?
Oh, it played a significant case. I mean, Oregon is a state with a long history of white supremacy, and certainly racism played a significant role in this case. I mean, the eyewitness who the jury didn't hear from, who only came to light after the post-conviction investigators found her many years later, she would have testified that the police dismissed her. She wanted to tell them what she had seen. They dismissed her using a racist slur to refer both to the victim, who was black, and to Mr. Johnson, and basically said, we've got someone in custody, so we're not interested in what you saw. And of course, like we know, racism is also present in less overt ways, and I'm certain it infected the decision to seek death and the way the jury perceived the evidence as well.
Well, now that the Court of Appeals has made a decision, the Department of Justice in Oregon has 35 days to decide whether or not to appeal to the Supreme Court, the state Supreme Court, that is. What could that mean for Jesse's case?
Well, if they do seek to ask the Oregon Supreme Court to take the case, that will delay the case and keep Mr. Johnson in custody and just perpetuate this injustice. I'm hopeful that they won't. The Court of Appeals ruling is very sound, and really it's hugely significant for Mr. Johnson and systemically for Oregon. But legally, it's very sound. I mean, essentially the issue on appeal was whether it could have changed one juror's decision to hear that this eyewitness saw a white man who seems to have gone into the house at the time and very likely committed the murder, which, I think, frankly, the answer to that question is pretty obvious. Of course it could have mattered. So I'm hopeful they won't. But if they do, that will delay the case. It usually takes 2 to 4 months for the Oregon Supreme Court to decide whether to accept a petition for review and take up a case. And then if they take it up, it could be another year or two before the Oregon Supreme Court makes a decision. And Mr. Johnson, like you said, will have to remain in prison while the case is pending on appeal.
All right, Attorney Ryan O'Connor, thank you very much for your time tonight, sir.